read the newspapers because they all have ugly print.
At the starting of the week, at Summit Talks, you'll hear them speak. It's only Monday. Negotiations breaking down. See the leaders start to frown. It's more than Monday.
We are back with another edition of your favorite morning show, The Daily Dose on the Guerrilla Radio Network.
We'll be sitting, taking lunch. The news will hit you like a punch. It's only Tuesday.
What's happening?
Ask your doctor if the Daily Dose is right for you. Common side effects include sarcasm, informed opinions, and wondering how the hell these people got elected. The Daily Dose starts now.
What's happening?
Tomorrow never comes until it's too late.
Good morning, my friends. Good morning. Hopefully everyone's having a great Tuesday. Not Tuesday. Tuesday morning. It is August 18th, and the time is 8:25 p.m., and you are listening to your Daily Dose right here on the Guerrilla Radio Network. We're back at it again. 2 days in a row. We're having a good run so far this week. I was able to pull off 2 shows in a row, and hopefully tomorrow I can pull off a third. We'll see what happens. Moving on, we've got some crazy, funny, dumb shit in the news today, but as we always need to start our day with local weather. This is your Tampa Bay weather forecast for the Tampa Bay area. Enjoy.
There and good Tuesday morning to you. Starting you out with a look across the area for today as we start out mild, warming up quickly here with sunshine to start the day. So look at 10 a.m. on St. Pete. Going to be already up to about 88 degrees, making a run into the 90s. So sunshine to start the day, but clouds building in, and we will be talking about partly cloudy skies throughout the afternoon, but still tracking dry conditions for today. So low 90s as we look ahead to about that 2, 3, 4 o'clock time frame. That'll come with winds out of the west to northwest, a little bit of a breeze being felt, and then very slow to cool off. So as we approach sunset, we're just barely getting out of the 90s, and we are going to have these more mild mornings as well with, look at all these 80s, which really cover pretty much all spots along the coast, from 84 in Crystal River to 81 in Clearwater to 83 right now in Sarasota, and then inland spots, still some cooler temperatures. 72 in Northport is the coolest here locally. We've got 75 in Bartow, Brandon to Lakeland, 77 at this hour, and then Sebring to Lake Placid, pretty much just shy of 80 degrees. And this comes after tons of heat yesterday for the Panhandle. Tallahassee actually got up to 100 degrees for the high temperature yesterday. And as we look at the heat index at this hour, it's feeling like about 83 in Tallahassee, but already 89 in the Pensacola area, and then low 90s to mid 90s here locally for our heat indices already. So we know it's going to be plenty hot this afternoon, as it already feels like 95 in St. Pete with that heat index up to 91 at this hour in Tampa. So still feeling winds out of the west to northwest coming around this high pressure, which is sitting just off our west coast. And then we have a storm system that's moving through portions of the deep south, but still most of the southern states are on the hot side and the humid side of where that front is rolling through. So heat advisories cover the state of Florida again, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. But then look at that, they extend all the way out to places like Dallas and Oklahoma City under extreme heat warnings, New Orleans as well, and then tracking up coastal Georgia and the Carolinas, those colors in pink showing that extreme heat, and inland spots under that heat advisory. That's as this heat.
We are under a major heat advisory down here in the Sunshine State of Florida. I know they said earlier on a different news channel while I was watching before the show started that the feels like temperature today is going to be 112 degrees. That's pretty goddamn hot, 112. So everybody stay hydrated. Make sure that you drink your Gatorade and your electrolytes if you're outside doing work today. Make sure that you don't pass out from heat exhaustion, because it's going to be a brutal one today in the Tampa Bay area. Now, we've got some weird stuff in the news today. We've got a college fundraiser that you've probably never considered, or maybe you have and you've tried it before. We've got machete wielding robbers. We've got stalling ships in China. We're going to talk a little bit about the flock cameras too, which are all the trend these days, and everyone's either loves them or they hate them. So we'll see what happens with that. And then, of course, we can't go a day without having Donnie T News. So let's get things started. Let's talk about this crazy college fundraiser. Now, I remember when I was in school, we would do certain fundraisers from time to time. I'm thinking back in like elementary school into like my football days when I played football. You know, you'd raise money for the team, buy new gear, buy new helmets and such. And then when you were a kid, you used to sell those world's finest chocolate bars over at the neighbor's house. You'd go door to door and you'd sell those world's finest chocolate bars for, you know, a couple bucks each, and you'd raise it. And who knows? At that age, I didn't know what I was raising money for. I was just going out there eating more of the chocolate than I was selling, and then lying about them getting robbed when I didn't have the money to turn in. I was a fat little kid. What do you want from me? But this college, I can't really call it a fundraiser, but I like to think of it as such. This college campus, Pennsylvania State, also known as Penn State, there's a couple fraternity brothers out there that had a very big campaign going, raising a lot of money, not necessarily for the school, but for their pockets, and it wasn't as legal as we would want it to be. Stand by, and I'll get into that story right now.
To other news tonight, two fraternities at Penn State University are at the center of a highly profitable cocaine ring, according to state prosecutors, who say the drugs were cut and packaged right there in the frat houses, sometimes by pledges. Among those charged, 13 current and former students and one student's father. More now from CBS's Michael George.
Investigators say all but one of the 14 charged were Penn State students at the time of the alleged criminal conduct. Pennsylvania's Attorney General Dave Sunday says the drug operation was run inside two fraternity houses in 2023 and 2024.
Cocaine was primarily packaged at the fraternity houses, and in fact, we found a pattern of events that showed cutting and bagging cocaine was, for some pledges, an indoctrination into the Delta Upsilon and Sigma Chi fraternities.
Authorities say the two main dealers were senior members of the fraternities.
Agostino Abatiello was at the very top of the chain. Thomas Robinson was a rung below that on the ladder.
According to the criminal complaint, the drugs were sold at parties and other college social events. One defendant is accused of buying more than 5 pounds of cocaine in a 9-month period. 6 defendants are facing felony charges. 8 others are charged with misdemeanors. Penn State says it's placing Delta Upsilon on interim suspension pending an investigation. It says Sigma Chi isn't recognized by the university.
The packaging happened at off-campus fraternity houses.
And there was one non-student charged. Paul Robinson, the father of one of the suspects. Authorities say he concealed evidence, including a safe containing drugs and cash. Tony?
Michael.
How about that, huh? I mean, you got to respect the hustle with those guys. You know, I mean, you're in school, you know, you're going to classes. You can't really, you can't work a full-time job, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So you have to come up with creative ways in order to make income. And you got to respect that hustle. That's a good hustle right there. I'll tell you what, these guys, they figured it out. And yeah, I'm not mad at them. You know what I mean? They're out there, they're slinging dope on the school campus. And what better venue to sell your drugs than at college frat parties? You know what I mean? So they had a little recipe for success right there. And unfortunately, they did get busted and they got caught. And now they're facing multiple felony charges. But like I said, you got to respect their hustle. And they were getting it done. You know what I mean? And the dad, he was probably taking a cut himself. So he's just sitting back collecting royalties at that point. Good for him. You know what I mean? Good for him. Teaching his son business ethics, you know, making sure that he understands the way of the world and the way that a corporation is supposed to work the right way. Good job. So anyway, those guys they're probably going to be going to jail for a little while, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? Can't do anything about it. Now, here's a thing that's been in the news for quite some time, and I'm just now starting to kind of put my thumb on the pulse of it a little bit. These flock cameras they've been highly debated over the course of the last at least few months that I can remember. And these flock cameras are traffic control devices. Basically, they scan your license plate and they can help you track, or they can help law enforcement track criminals and missing persons and all that good stuff that you would like them to do. But there's also some controversy involved as well, where the police departments are misusing them for their own personal gain, such as stalking ex-wives and girlfriends and finding their whereabouts. And, it's with every good thing that these cameras can produce, of course, there's going to be bad, because there's human nature involved with the operation of them. So, the humans will figure out a way to destroy them and make them bad. But here's a little bit about the flock cameras, because like I said, I'm just learning about them, and this story is a little bit interesting to give a little bit of insight as to what's going on with these so-called flock cameras.
Flock cameras are raising concerns among people across the country. Police say they help solve crimes by scanning license plates, but some see them as unwanted surveillance. Michael Yoshida breaks down how they work and the changes being made to make you feel safer.
There are reportedly more than 120,000 license plate reading flock safety cameras deployed across 49 states, used by more than 5,000 law enforcement agencies. They scan passing vehicles, capturing license plates and other details that are stored in a searchable database. If a plate is connected to a wanted vehicle, stolen car, or investigation, police get an alert. The technology notably helped track down last year's Brown University shooting suspect. Flock says it supported about 1 million law enforcement investigations last year and helped locate more than 10,000 missing people. But critics warn of a growing surveillance network, one they say invades privacy, triggers false alerts, and operates without enough oversight.
Where is the line where it stops being for solving crime and starts violating individual privacy?
The nonprofit Institute for Justice says dozens of officers in recent years have resigned or been arrested after allegedly abusing license plate reader systems, including accusations of stalking.
By using a private company, it allows a lot of the police departments to circumvent the normal red tape, like getting a warrant.
Flock has rolled out new safety controls, including tools for flagging unusual searches.
We have an obligation to make everyone feel safe. We've built a tool that demands accountability and transparency.
Safeguards. Privacy experts say don't go far enough. Some want cameras removed altogether. Others are calling for stronger rules, transparency, and accountability from leaders.
Like any tool in a police department's arsenal, we need guardrails.
So there you go. That's a little bit of information about these flock cameras that we keep seeing in the news daily. These stories seem to be popping up a little bit more and a little bit more as the days pass. And now we know a little bit more about them. So yeah, flock cameras, they're good and they're bad at the same time. So I personally don't give a flock. See what I did there? I don't give a flock about the flock cameras. Now, moving on. We've got what's going on with the U.S. Navy right now, honestly. I mean, the USS Abraham Lincoln has been at sea for, 270 days now. Limited amounts of food supplies. Women are complaining that there's no feminine hygiene products available for them to use at their disposal. They're running out of everything, and yet they're still out there at sea. Apparently, they're coming back to port. But it's a journey, and there's other ships that are going to take the place of this one, the USS Abraham, that's coming back south. With that being said, this is one of the ships that was heading towards the Middle East, and it got hung up in China. I blame China for this one, and I couldn't imagine being stuck on this boat in the conditions that were given to them when this boat lost all power. It's crazy.
The U.S. Navy says a destroyer spent 4 days without working toilets or galley services last month. The 7th Fleet says the USS Benfold also didn't have air conditioning after losing power in the blistering South China Sea. A spokesperson cites a July 24th issue with the ship's generators. The Benfold is accompanying the USS George Washington as it journeys to relieve the USS Abraham Lincoln. Conditions on that vessel are producing reports of low morale and mental health issues. It is in the Middle East for the Iran war and has gone more than 200 days without
That's crazy. You imagine being stuck out in the hot, sweltering heat in the middle of the Chinese Sea with no air conditioning, no running water, no toilets for 4 days. 4 fucking days. That's incredible. I don't know how these guys, how they made it through those 4 days. You know what I mean? I'm sure that the wartime is worse than being stuck in a boat for 4 days. You know, they're going to see way worse and experience way worse than that. But good Lord have mercy. I mean, those ships, they've got to be extremely hot. I mean, they're made completely of metal. You know what I mean? I really doubt they're well insulated from the outside temperatures. You know what I mean? And no air conditioning, no running water. I would lose my mind if I was aboard that ship. I would absolutely lose my mind. And yeah, like I said in the beginning, what is going on with the U.S. Navy? Their ships are falling apart, people. Their ships are absolutely 100% without a doubt falling apart. And this is something that we shouldn't even be involved with, in my opinion. These ships shouldn't even be over there. So I don't know. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things. I guess we have to deal with it. The sailors have to deal with it. You know, they signed up for it. And you know, now they're out there paying the price for whatever reason. But let's go ahead and take a quick commercial break. Let's talk about Dubby Energy, a word from our sponsor. Dubby Energy, clean, no jitters, no crash, just focus and all natural energy. Enter the promo code Gorilla Radio at checkout for 10% off your entire order and exclusive member discounts. Dubby Energy, lock in, stay sharp, and dominate your day. Dubby Energy, folks. Like I say every day on the show, if you're a gym rat, if you're a gamer, if you enjoy doing things that require extreme focus and physical ability, Dubby Energy could be your best friend. Get you what you're looking for, get you focused, get you that high, that feeling without the jitters and no crashing. Dubby Energy, folks. Go get you some. Woo-hoo. All right, everybody, we are back. Now, this guy, first of all, what the hell was going through his brain? I guess I should say before we get into the story. I don't understand why you would ever, as a criminal, I would assume that you, one, would pick a better venue to go rob, maybe something a little bit less occupied, and two, possibly a better weapon to use when you go and rob said venue. This guy did neither of the two. He didn't think this through, apparently. He went to Costco and robbed them with a machete. Who in the hell goes to Costco with a machete, and first of all, to rob them, and second of all, with a machete? Doesn't make any sense to me. But apparently it did to this guy because he actually went down there and did. Oh my God, he actually did it. He actually did. He literally actually went down there with a machete, and he actually took the machete and literally robbed them with an actual machete, bruh.
Costco is always a crazy busy place, but police say somebody still showed up there at the Greenville location with a machete and a pickaxe to rob the place. Greenville police arrested the guy after he broke into and attempted to rob the jewelry counter. Officers say their suspect, they've now identified as 24-year-old Jose Alejandro Giraldo, had a machete and pickaxe for weapons, and when he was confronted by police, they say he also had a gun. A Costco customer saved the day. They actually worked together to detain Giraldo until the police were able to arrive on scene. One customer had some minor injuries. Giraldo is charged with armed robbery and assault and battery.
Now, if you had the gun, why wouldn't you use that? Obviously, if you get caught, you're going to jail for armed robbery, and you're going to get arrested for armed robbery. Why not have the best case scenario and have the gun in your hand and not the machete? What type of a blithering in a pickaxe? A pickaxe and a machete. That's what he went to rob the Costco jewelry section with. What an idiot. I don't understand it, but I guess it's not mine to figure out. Leave it to the courts. Book them, Dano. Book them, Dano. Now, it's that time of the day. It's our last story of the day, and this one is a big one. A big one.
Welcome to the shit show. Every single day, a new flavor of fuckery, 'cause everybody's such.
Welcome to What It Do with Donnie T, where the nation pauses to see if anything got done today, or if the presidency is just a full-time job posting on Truth Social all day and all night once again. Let's check it out and see.
Now, our president, Donnie T, he's done some dumb shit. He's said some stupid things. He acts a fool at times, people might say. Some people may say he's unfit to be the commander-in-chief, the executive president of the United States. Some people may say he's not qualified for that position. Some people may call him narcissistic. Some people may call him the greatest thing since sliced bread. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with this guy anymore. I mean, he's literally lost his mind. He's off his rocker. And this latest, whatever you want to call it, is certainly proof that he's got to go. You know what I mean? When he first ran for office back in, 2016, I'd said to myself, you know what? This will be nice. Nice change of pace. We're going to have someone that's not politically minded, that's a businessman, successful businessman at that, and he's going to be running the country. He'll be able to whip this place into shape and get it on the right track. During the inauguration of the 2016 election, my views immediately changed. And they have changed in ways that I cannot reverse as the days progress. And this would be one of the reasons why I feel he's an absolute blithering idiot.
Tonight, President Trump threatening to bomb a U.S. ally if it, quote, gets in the way with Iran and the Strait of Hormuz. And the president was pressed today about conditions aboard the USS Lincoln at sea now for more than 260 days. The president had said the deployment was not nearly long enough. Here's Jonathan Karl.
Unable to put an end to the Iran war, President Trump today threatened to expand it, issuing a blunt and profane warning to a U.S. ally, Oman, saying he would bomb the expletive out of them if they interfered with U.S. objectives in the critical Strait of Hormuz.
Would you say you're out of patience with Oman, a strategic
partner?
No,
I don't think they behave very well, but we'd handle them very easily, just like we do others.
The threat comes as ship traffic through the strait is at a virtual standstill. This comes as U.S. military officials are scrambling to respond to a Trump social media post over the weekend that condemned planned joint exercises with South Korea. In the post, which blindsided U.S. military leaders, Trump cited his, quote, very good relationship with North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un and called the drills inappropriate and hostile toward North Korea and said they would be scaled back. And today he suggested he's recently been in contact with Kim Jong-un.
Kim Jong-un has always treated me with great respect.
Though it's widely believed North Korea has provided military support to Iran. And today, President Trump was asked about the deteriorating conditions aboard the USS Lincoln aircraft carrier, which has been at sea for more than 260 days. After some sailors' family members told the Military Times at least 2 sailors tried to jump overboard. And a U.S. official told ABC News a sailor did go overboard earlier this month and was rescued. Last week, the president dismissed concerns.
No. Not nearly long enough.
And today, the president insisted there is no problem aboard the USS Lincoln, quoting what he said a retired admiral recently told him.
He said, I've been on ships that are out there much longer than that, sir. And I know people on the Lincoln, they say it's beautifully maintained and beautifully taken care of.
And today had been the deadline for the U.S. and Iran to finalize a nuclear agreement and come to a permanent end to the conflict. But, David, that agreement never came close to happening, and there is no end in sight to the war. The Iranians today said that that peace deadline, quote, is no longer relevant.
John.
He's absolutely lost his mind. You know what I mean? He's literally lost his mind, and I don't understand what it is that he's thinking. You know what I mean? I don't. Oh well, what are you gonna do? My friends out there in the internet world, this has been a great Tuesday. I look forward to hopefully being able to do this with you again tomorrow. Worst case scenario, I'll be back on Thursday for sure. You were listening to your Daily Dose on the Guerrilla Radio Network. Remember, W Energy. Use promo code Guerrilla Radio at checkout, and I will personally give you 10% off your entire order. Follow us on all social media outlets. Facebook, Guerrilla Radio. Instagram, IG47. IG47, why did I say that? Guerrilla Radio 47 on the Instagram machine. Sometimes I'm an idiot. And then you can also like, subscribe, and follow us on our YouTube channel at OG Guerrilla Radio. You've been watching your Daily Dose. My name is Eric. I'm your host, your tour guide for the previous 30 minutes or so. And I will join you tomorrow morning. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. Don't work too hard. Stay hydrated. And please, 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 if you live in Florida, go out and vote today. It's a big deal. These are the ones that count. Have a great rest of your day.
And he pulled the bow across the strings and it made an evil hiss. Then a band of demons joined in and it sounded something like this. When the devil finished, Johnny said, well, you're pretty good, old son, but sit down in that chair right